This is Andy, and welcome to my kitchen. Today we're going to create a dish that's a favorite of my children. It's a kale meatloaf. So the challenge is always getting kids to eat healthy vegetables, and if you just steam kale and put it on their plate, they're not going to touch it. So I'm going to show you how to make an easy to make and very tasty and delicious and nutritious meatloaf using some basic ingredients and a lot of fresh kale. So let's talk about the ingredients we're going to use. Here's 1 pound of grass-fed ground beef that I got from the farmer's market. So local source and organic, no hormones, no antibiotics, so very fresh and nutritious ground beef. I've got about 4 to 6 ounces of cracker crumbs that I just kind of crunched up in my measuring cup. I've got about 1/2 of a white onion chopped up. We're going to put that in there. I've got about 3 cloves of garlic that I've chopped. I've got about 1 pound of fresh kale that you can see behind me here that's drying. I'm going to put that in the Cuisinart and chop it real fine. The secret is to not even let the kids know that it's in the meatloaf, and they're going to love it, they're going to eat it up, and they're getting a big serving of very healthy green leafy vegetables in their food. I also use a little bit of nutritional yeast flakes. I'm going to use about 1 tablespoon of those for some additional nutrition. You get those at your local Whole Foods store or nutritional supplier. I'm going to use about 1 teaspoon of salt, maybe less because I've got to improvise on some other things. Some pepper, and then I use this no salt seasoning that has a variety of different things in it just to make things easy. Just be sure there's no MSG in it. We don't want to add things to our food that don't belong. Like I said, I got to improvise. I usually put about 1 tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce in there, but I don't have any. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take about 1 tablespoon of Bragg's liquid aminos, which is kind of salty, so I'm going to reduce the other salt that I put in there. And I'm going to stir that in with some sugar just to kind of give it a little sweetness. Not much sugar, just about 1/2 teaspoon, just to give it a little extra flavor. I'm also going to chop some fresh basil that I grew out in the garden, but you're welcome to play with the spice combinations and kind of try things that your kids will like, or just keep it simple and just use salt and pepper. I'm also going to need 2 eggs. These are also from the farmer's market, local happy chickens out eating bugs in the pasture. So very tasty. Don't roll off there. And then I'm probably going to use about 1 teaspoon of olive oil, depending on the consistency of my mixture. And finally, I'm going to use a little ketchup on top, and my bottle of ketchup's back there behind me, upside down, because I only have just enough for today's recipe. So those are the ingredients. I'm going to preheat my oven to 375 degrees, and then I'm going to come back and I'm going to show you how to combine these ingredients. So I start by taking my 2 eggs, and I've just beat them in a cup here, and I'm just going to start combining all my ingredients. So here I'm going to let me adjust the camera a little bit. I'm going to just start combining ingredients. So right there in the kale, I'm just going to dump my egg mixture. There you go. I'm going to add the garlic. So that's done. The onion. There you go. My basil, my spices, and I'm just going to take right out of the thing here and just add a good teaspoon of that. Again, I'm just going to put a pinch of salt because I got a different mixture, and I've got black pepper to taste. And then, like I said, about I don't know, a pinch. It's about 1 tablespoon of nutritional yeast flakes. And here's my ground beef. I'm just going to dump in my bowl and use use your safe raw meat handling practices so that you don't spread any kind of bad germs around. And then my cracker crumbs, just dump that in there. And then remember, I was out of Worcestershire sauce, so I combined some Bragg's liquid aminos with some sugar just to make a little homemade sauce there. And I'm going to just combine that. So I end up with a big bowl full of stuff that I need to just stir around. So just mix that real well. You can use your hands if they're clean, and just use a fork or whatever. But just combine them real well. And depending on the consistency, if it looks a little dry, just add a little olive oil. Keep mixing, and if it's still dry, add some more olive oil. But you just want a nice moist mixture. And I'm going to come back and show you that. Here's my mixture. You can see it's pretty consistent. Mixed it in real well. Mine's pretty moist. I didn't have to add any olive oil. So the grease from the meat will help lubricate the pan, so you don't have to add any oil to the dish. At this point, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pat this down in my casserole dishes that you see here. So I've got 2 of those. I'm just going to divide it into 2. One to serve now for lunch, and one to cut up later for sandwiches. I've kind of further disguised the kale with a layer of ketchup on top. That'll help us know when it's done as well. So I'm going to pop these in the oven now, and then when we come back, you're going to see what they look like when they're done. I let this cool for about 10 minutes. Serve it up with some potatoes and vegetable side dishes, some salad, and everybody would just love this nutritious and delicious meal. So I hope you enjoyed this. Hope you can replicate this dish in your own kitchen. That's it for this show. I'm Andy Brewer. You can find this recipe at scriptflip.com/recipes or in the show notes for the video. So happy cooking, happy eating.